Oh, Internet. What's up, Internet? What's going on? It's Friday, and boy, howdy. Am I dying? I don't know. What's up, everybody? I feel like I'm dying. That's good. We got that going for us on a day like today. That's great. Woo! All right, let's give you guys a little bit of the lowdown. Hold on, let me click on the thing over here. Yeah, there we go. Are we receiving the stream properly? Yes, we're receiving the stream properly. Okie dokie. The stream health, yellow. Well, it's not as good as green, but it's better than red. So that's good, right? Glad to be here on a Friday. I'm feeling, I don't know. Is under the weather the way that I am feeling? I think I am under the weather. I don't know. I woke up with a head cold this morning. Then I went to the dentist where they went in my mouth and did some crazy dentist stuff in my mouth, which has triggered a massive head pain thing. What do you call that? Migraine? I don't know. I'm just tired. I'm tired and I feel poorly, but that is just how it goes sometimes on a Friday, right? To those of you out there that wonder if I take this seriously, I am the kind of person that shows up to work. I might be dying. I'll still show up to work. That's how I do it, and that's why we're here on a Friday. You hear my baby crying in the background. She's had an on again, off again kind of day today. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with little Miss Olivia today, but she's been like, oh, I'm happy, and then like, oh, I'm not happy. But I'm looking at the clock. It might be about time for her to take a little nap, because it was about, I don't know, 4 hours ago, she took a little nap. So take her little nap. Then she'll be awake, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for when Victoria comes home. So that'll be good. Let's check out the chat here and see what's going on. I forget who was first to the chat. I think Fishing Key Largo was first to the chat. Simon Shaw, Phil Emerson. Fishing Key Largo says it's been a long time since we made a live stream. Let's do a Caleb's Medical Fund Drive today. He'll match up to $200 donated during today's show to Caleb's Medical Fund Drive. If you guys have not, I don't know if you've been living in a cave, some kind of weird cave out there. Caleb is Candy Overhaul's son, who has been battling the leukemia for what just feels like a long time to me, but I'm sure it feels like forever for the young man. He has child leukemia. Here's a paste to the GoFundMe if you want to go take a look at it. That family has been through a load of nonsense, having dealt with, a child having a real serious life-threatening medical condition. They've been through a lot. They have had to relocate. They've had, I don't know if Candy wants, I probably don't want to give away any personal details, but they've had to relocate, to move. They had to move, all sorts of stuff. They've been through a lot. Candy hasn't been able to work because it's a full-time job, taking care of your sick kid, and not to mention having to drive Caleb to Denver for treatments and stuff, and they live in Montana. So I've made that drive. Myself, in a not needing to get treatment situation, and it's a long drive back and forth, up and down there. So Fishing Key Largo is going to match up to $200 worth of donations today during the show. Shout out. I love that. That's so cool. That's so generous. So, you know, if you want to be one of those people out there that's like, hey, I want to make my $5 into $10 for what I would 100% consider to be one of the best. It's a charity that is close to the heart. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And I feel like that's a great thing. That's a great thing to contribute today on a Friday. I know that I'm not feeling well. So I can only imagine. My guy. And I've been in the hospital myself too, so I kind of know some of that stuff. But yeah, it's hardcore. 54 Punchy, one of our super moderators, is also under the weather. Although there isn't a fundraiser, it sounds like she's going to be getting her gallbladder out, which I'm smiling about that because our sitter here, Samantha, is like the exact same situation. She's on the list now to get her gallbladder taken out fairly soon, so that's going to be about 2 weeks away. So, you know, follow the doctor's orders, and hopefully it'll be okay. And also, another good friend of mine has their gallbladder out, so it's not great. I'm not saying it's great, but you know, my friend Jessica got hers taken out 19 years ago. So it's been some good stuff in that last amount of time. You know, a little bit of a diet change and stuff like that, but just to revel at the medical science these days. You know, able to, you know, I guess treat stuff like that and it not be like anything kind of crazy. The reason I bring that up is because it will be on the Patreon post today. You guys can check that out. So, but I'm happy to be here, even though it seems like a lot of people not feeling well. a lot of people out there not feeling well on a Friday. But we got that out of the way. We do have a super chat here from Rum Bust of the 1774 Swedish Krone variety. Thank you very much. I appreciate the old tip jar there. You know how that goes. We also have a new member to the Oceaneers. Shout out to Dakota Davies for becoming a new member even when there wasn't a show going on. How about that? That's one of the few people that have become a member when there's not a show going on. But shout out to Dakota. Thank you very much for becoming a member. We appreciate it. We're doing what we can to, you know, kind of chip in here. And the reason I say chip in here is because long term, and to be realistic here, I don't know how long term is. I don't know how long it's going to take. But you guys know that last weekend I went down, I traveled myself all the way down to Oregon, and we got some ideas in the mix here, and I did mention them on the Wednesday show that we got some wheels turning here. We got some wheels turning because we have the Aquatic Gardeners Association coming up, and you know, if I refer to the AGA, that's what I'm talking about, and I want to double check the dates here. 2019 Seattle, there it is. AGA 2019 Seattle. We're going to look it up. May 2nd through the 5th. Now, the AGA is going to be awesome. I hope I have a good time here. There are a lot of cool speakers showing up. There are a lot of cool vendors showing up. A bunch of just super aquarium plant nerds with workshops and vendors and all sorts of stuff. It's going to be a ton of fun. You know, and myself, along with AquaPros Mike, you know, Mike from AquaPros, we spent a lot of time in the car and we were talking about it, and we were talking about some of the stuff that we want to do as the future unravels here, right? Because I would 100% consider that he has a successful YouTube channel. I have a successful YouTube channel. And, you know, over the last, you know, year and a half, 2 years or something like that, you know, dealing with a lot of YouTubers and having gone to conventions and stuff like that, they're you know, I've had a lot of interaction with the companies, having gone to Europe, having to meet a lot of the European aquascapers and stuff like that, having met a lot of the Asian aquascapers and those kinds of things. And you know, the reality is that people come out for a short period of time during like a convention or something. Like people will come out for a couple of days, you know, for instance, for a convention. But if there is a convention going on, you're quite busy doing the convention thing, right? Which is fine. I don't have any concerns. I like most of the conventions. I will go to the ones that I can go to. As I mentioned earlier over the year here, I'm not making that a priority of mine because, you know, just the amount of money that goes out the door for having to go to those for me is, you know, it's problematic. You know, it's a problem, and I don't think it's a great way to invest money. And right before the show started out here, let me get my... Here we go, right here. I don't know if this is big enough, so maybe I can make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And I'll read it to you. I'll read this email that I got right here. And I'm using this email as an example of what a lot of the companies, what their expectation is in the aquatic community of whatever. It says, "Hi, aquatic experts. We would love your review of Vibrabites, the newest additions to the Hikari extremely popular line of diets for tropical fish. This new diet, blah 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 blah. Please let us know if you'd like to review Vibrabites. It's formulated for health, blah blah blah." And it essentially highlights in here that they will send a free sample in exchange for the creation of a YouTube video and a review of their food. Now, I have been testing Vibrabites already for a review on my channel. Not associated with the actual people from Hikari. I got a sample from Corey and from Aquarium Co-op, and I've been testing it out to see if it's something that I would recommend to people. This product launched months and months ago, like it's been around a long time, but this is an example of an email that I would get from a multinational giant corporation that they would be like, "We'll send you a free package of food." And then you get it, and then you make a video. And I've noticed that it's not necessarily all of the companies. It's definitely not what I'm trying to portray here. But a majority of the companies, and even other like YouTubers and stuff like that, are like, "Hey, we'll just give you this free thing, and then you can just go do free for the freeness of the free stuff," right? Now, I'm all for like free samples and that kind of stuff and whatnot, but the way I look at it is like most of the companies, this is what they're willing to sponsor or whatnot, and what they're willing to do. So, you know, Mike and I actually sat down. We started to talk about like what we want to do as far as the future goes, and you know, there are certain things that we like about the conventions. There's certain things that we may or may not have, I don't know, we just not like about the conventions and stuff. And like, what would we do moving forward that would work better for the community and so in conjunction with what we both want to do, right? So it was like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Like what do we want to do moving forward? And for me, I personally am working hard, you know, expending a lot of my time, my energy, my income, all that kind of stuff to potentially create something. Like, my vision is to create not necessarily a YouTube program, but whatever the video is something that people that don't even have anything to do with fish tanks would be interested in watching. Have I made that goal? No, absolutely not. I'm a million miles from having made that goal. But what are some of the next steps towards getting that? Obviously, I'm building a studio to make the podcast stuff. This is sort of a podcast format type show. Obviously, I'm building a studio to make that better. I've definitely acquired some of the gear. I have multiple microphones now. I got a secondhand camera and a couple other things, and one of my webcams just broke. It just gave up. Whatever, not a big deal. But obviously, I'm doing that kind of stuff and what's going on. And as we move along here, my long-term goal is to make a space. And here's a perfect example. You could literally go online right now and go look at Green Aqua. I was there. You could literally go look at the video that I made from having been there. And to have a space where we could not only film stuff, but also invite the public to come to. I don't know how other people feel. I don't claim to know how anybody else feels. But personally, I wouldn't invite 100, 200, 300 random strangers to come to my house. There are even a lot of YouTubers that I wouldn't invite to come to my house. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but there are a lot of creepy ones out there, and I wouldn't want them coming to my house. And I personally am feeling like I should personally start to move away from doing everything all the time at my house because of stuff like that. Because right now it would be like if a lot of people came into town for the AGA, right? They'd be like, I want to go check out Corey's tanks. I want to go check out Joel's tanks. I want to go check out AquaPro's tanks, Bentley's tanks, this, that, the other thing. And it'd be like, I don't know you, man. I don't know if I want a bunch of people coming over to my house. You know what I mean? The internet's pretty sterile because, you go through a VPN and that kind of stuff. It's pretty well hey, come check out the show, check out the video, check out this, check out that. But it's not like somebody's in my basement right now. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, right? And I think that's kind of the big goal. You know what I mean? Is how do we get some kind of public space? And, if Mike and I wanted to do an aquascaping workshop, for instance, right? Let's say Mike and I wanted to do a workshop weekend, at 2 points in time during the day, we would both do an aquascaping workshop where people could come up and actually touch stuff, look at things oh, that's the actual plant that's going in there and things like that. How would we be able to do that? We can't really do that from our house. We can't really just be hosting that from our house on a regular basis. And on top of it, not only just people that watch YouTube, but even YouTubers, you know what I mean? How are we going to host people when they come to town? Because currently right now, even with one of the biggest aquarium channels on YouTube, would be the Aquarium Co-op. A lot of Corey's stuff is at his house. You know what I mean? So you already have to have there's already this barrier that needs to be surpassed in order to have those people come over to Corey's house, right? So that's kind of the thing, and that's sort of the thing that is sort of in the zeitgeist right now. That's in the thought process of all right, start looking around and see if there's something that could be done here. And as you know, obviously there's money things to think about and geographical things to think about and all that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of just logistics to think about. So that stuff is going to go on. And then obviously just kind of finding the right situation, the right situation that may or may not work. So it's not something that needs to be done tomorrow. It's not something that needs to happen in the next 5 minutes or whatever. But that definitely is going to be one of the kind of long-term things that's definitely on my mind. So you guys will probably hear me talking about that from time to time. And I just want to get that spiel out so you guys would kind of understand where my headspace is at right now. In my, I'm in my tiny fish room, and I could potentially order and have some more tanks built and stuff like that. But, I don't know if that seems like the right direction at this point, but I just kind of let me know. Let me hear back from you guys. Let me know what you think. If you think, if I don't know, maybe it's just a big waste of time, and maybe it's just a goofy thing to even think about, but yeah, I don't know. Let's wind up that portion of the show with "Here Comes a Segue." I see Vicky Toria posting in the chat. What's up, babe? What are you doing? Oh, she's doing the Leroy Jenkins. Coming out, heading home. All right. Well, I hope to see you soon, Vicky Toria. I hope you get here soon, babe. Good to see you, and we could figure out what we're doing tonight. Probably hanging out with our daughter. That's probably our big plans for the night. Although I did see that John Wick 3 is coming out in May, and I realistically think we should see that one in the movie theater. I think we should see that in the theater. And by the way, if no one has seen Captain Marvel yet, go see that. It's a great film. It was really good. I don't understand what this weird intrigue around it, like not being a box office hit or being a box office hit or whatever. Go see it. It's awesome. It was super good. And I mean, if you're going to go see Avengers Endgame, you should definitely see Captain Marvel, for sure, is what I'm going to say about it. It's really good. Go check it out. I'm glad that they saved Captain Marvel till this point, because, yes, I have seen people criticizing Captain Marvel to be like, well, Captain Marvel's not the strongest character in the Marvel Universe. And well, yeah, she's not. She's like the 10th behind, like, Death and the Living Tribunal and Galactus and a couple other. But she got in a fight with Galactus and didn't die. So I feel like she's pretty much up there, Silver Surfer, I mean, come on, he's on there. Like I said, Death is on there. Adam Warlock is on the top 10. Thor is like 10th. So I don't know. I think maybe Thor is like 15th or something, because Odin is like up in the top 10. I don't know. And Odin is Thor's dad, and everybody knows Thor's dad is tougher than Thor. That's just how it goes. It's just lit. It's lit. It's legit. Of course Odin is more powerful than Thor. I don't know. But Captain Marvel, I got super excited that Captain Marvel was going to come and be in it, and it did not disappoint. I think it came through. The shining light, like a shining light. And Dave Diaz says, "Who's Captain Marvel? Get out of here." Oh, comic books, man. Oh, and remember I mentioned we had those new Tweezle Twazzles. We got these new ones from Aqua Vitro. I'm liking them. I'm liking the new Tweezle Twazzles from Aqua Vitro. And I did find some of these other Aqua Vitro Tweezle Twazzles. I have not tried these out yet. They have this weird, what is that, a 45 degree? It looks like a 45 degree angle to them. So you have the handle here, and then you got this you get your plant in there, and you're like this, and you're like, right? You know what I mean? So I think these are kind of cool. I haven't tried them out yet, so I can't necessarily recommend. So I can't tell you if the usability is there, but it feels like the usability is there. I don't know. I'm not sponsored by Aqua Vitro. I Didn't even get these sent for free. I bought them with my own money. So, I don't know. I'm kind of liking them. They seem like a little bit of a step up from the super generic ones. I think they feel like a step up from the super generics. I'm trying to find something that's like ADA quality, but not $150. And I know Andrew commented how much the planting tongues were. I think the planting tongues were like $50 or maybe $80 or something like that. I don't know. But the scissors being $150 from ADA, I was just like, nope, that's not happening. That's not happening in this neck of the woods. You know what I mean? Bro, it's Serg says Hulk. Yeah, I think Hulk was on there. I think, Hulk is in the top 10. No, I don't think Hulk is in the top 10. I think the Earth-shattering Hulk or whatever is in the top 10, but I don't think Hulk is in the top 10 of most powerful. I don't know. It's debatable. Fishing Key Largo says the GoFundMe is up to $150. Let's hit the full 200. Thanks to those that jumped in so far. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's get the update on that. Let's check this out. Refresh. Ooh, Tyrone. Alex. Oh, my God. Alex went in for $100. Look at that. Ginger Graves, 25. Michael Bass, $20. Woo! Man, you guys are going wild. All right. Nice work. That is going to be a big help. That's going to be a big help for Caleb and Candy. And don't forget Stacy. And I don't know his siblings' names, but Stacy and Candy and Caleb. Number one fan, Caleb, who's about as big a fan of Marvel as I am. You know what I'm saying? So, legit. Maybe it'll help out. Maybe just help out with some gas money, some food, and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's hard to put all that stuff together. You know what I mean? And Tyrone. I'm sorry. I was saying Tyrone. Tyrone. All right. Look at that. Oh, I'm going to hit the refresh here. Okay, still good. So, Phil says Swamp Thing. Get out of here. Swamp Thing. He's radioactive. He's radioactive Swamp Man. I don't know. I have to say, I kind of like the Swamp Thing, like, live-action cartoon. Like the cartoon one. That one was pretty funny. It was pretty good. Oh, my gosh, we have a new member. Dr. Guppy. We got a new member, Dr. Guppy, coming in hot and fresh on a Friday, right on. And Jessica Thiegartner, celebrating vacation time and baby shrimp. Nice, I like that. That is pretty cool. Let's see, Bentley Pascal, really good Moss or Monte Carlo. Tyrone, thanks. I played with them in the past. At Bentley, congrats on the prize from Mark's Aquatics. Hope it's as cool as it looks. What did Bentley win from Mark's Aquatics? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I don't have a lot of time to like watch a bunch of other fish YouTube stuff, so I didn't. I saw you guys in the early chat talking about how Bentley won. I don't know what he won though. Cheshire Cat says, I don't seem to have mastered the tweezle twazzle when planting. I can't get the roots into the substrate and eventually abandon the tool and use my hands. A couple plants refuse to cooperate. Yeah, that's like, I feel like I hear that a lot. I feel like I hear that from people quite a bit where they're like, yeah, I don't know, I'm having troubles with this thing, these tongs, these planting tongs, and maybe it is just a learned thing. Maybe it's just learned behavior, and I got good at it from plating in restaurants and stuff. Because, as you guys know, that's getting a fancy restaurant. You're going to be plating with the tweezle twazzles. So, maybe I just got a lot of experience from doing that, and maybe that works out. Terry's Tropicals Tank Speed's long lost brother Racer X is the most powerful. It's got, here goes Speed Racer. He's a demon on wheels, right? Got my 5-year-old coin, or got my 5-year coin today. What difference? What a difference made in my life. Well, I think maybe it's made in my life. Maybe that's right. I don't know. But 5-year coin, that's awesome. If if everything works out fine, I'll be getting my 5-year coin here pretty soon too. And I have to say, sobriety has been definitely one of the big. That's a huge. What do you call that? Keystone, a point, a turn. I don't know. A point in my life has been a huge whatever the word is. It's been a monumental benefit to my life. I don't know. It may not be for everybody, but I would give it a shot. As the big book says, like, you might not think you have a problem. Just take the consideration of whatever it is that you think you're hooked on and not doing it for a year. And if that seems like a big deal, you might have an issue. Obviously, some of the things that we're addicted to in life, like, are good for you. It's like, oh, I'm addicted to working out. Like, I got to get up in the morning and work out. Like, oh, I'm addicted to eating broccoli. I love broccoli. Or I love gardening. Or I love, there's just certain stuff that we do that's beneficial that we get addicted to. We get hooked on doing it for our whole entire lives. It's like somebody that's a welder for 50 years and loves working with metal and building beautiful things. It's like, oh man, I'm hooked on that. I got to do it. It's something I got to do. For us, it's probably fish tanks, things like that, right? Some of the stuff that we do is beneficial. Some of the stuff we do is really not, and one of the things that really shed a little glimmer of light and meant a lot to me was reading about that in the big book and the big book is just called the big book. It's basically the handbook for Alcoholics Anonymous, but it talks about it in there that, if you really feel like you don't have a problem, just consider not doing something for a year. And if that seems like a giant monumental, like, oh my God, that's impossible. Like, how could you couldn't go a whole year? It's like, that might be a thing. It might be a deal. It might be something that could clue you into whether you got a problem or not, Huge fish face. What's up? Tyrone says, I don't mind you telling my donation of $5. I'm proud to give what I can. Oh, yeah. I think I was just saying your name wrong, so I didn't want to be saying your name wrong. Like Alex Schur, I think I got that. Like Michael Bass, although maybe it's Bass. Oh, now it's just getting difficult. I think most everybody else, like Deborah Cook, I think I got that one. Most of the other names, and I think I was saying Tyrone instead of Tyrone. I don't know. Dennis Green. That's getting us closer to the mark there. I think you're at like 175 now for the day. It's going to be $25 left to match. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I do. At the very least, I appreciate it. And I literally mean that literally. My appreciation is probably the least. The least amount of appreciation. A lot of it's probably going to come from Candy and Caleb and Candy's lovely husband, the father of Caleb, Stacy. And their family, too, I'm sure. Let's see. Okay. Oh, there's Candy. Candy has showed up. It says, at Fishing Key Largo, wow, you're a blessing in our lives. Timing couldn't be better. We go to Denver Sunday for Caleb's spinal chemo on Monday. Woo! Thank you from the bottom of my heart, everyone. Oh, wow. That timing is good, man. Like I was saying earlier in the show, that I've done that drive. That is a long drive. That is a long, long drive. Dr. Guppy with a $5 super chat. This donation is matched, right? No, I think it's just only on the GoFundMe. So, I don't know. Don't accidentally super chat. I don't know. I wonder if I can, I don't know. I don't know what I can do. I don't know what I can do with that. Now Candy's crying, which is not going to be a good deal because we need to keep an eye out Candy is one of our moderators. If you guys make her cry, the trolls will get in. The trolls will get in, and next thing you know, oh my gosh, guys, we'll have a whole bunch of wacky things posted in the comments that we'll have to look at for a short period of time until Candy wipes away the tears. She'll wipe away the tears and then delete them with the ban hammer. You know, I can't be trusted with the ban hammer. When I am trusted with the ban hammer, you know what happens? Bad things happen. You know what I'm saying? That's why I just hold a SATA cable. That is a computer part. If anybody nerdy out there like me knows what a SATA cable is. So I think this one's only a SATA 3. Let me see. Let me check. What does it say on here? Oh, this is an old ATA. Yeah. It's not a very good one. That's why it's laying on my desk. Because it's going to the recycle bin. As you guys know, if you do have old computer parts, be sure to recycle them with the local recycling computer center. But thanks for the super chat, even though I don't think it's going to be matched unless all the fan people want to match it. You never know. But as you guys know, we're doing fine here. If you feel like patronizing, we appreciate it. As I mentioned earlier, I talked about some of the future goals, future projects, future things that should be hopefully maybe coming down the pipe, regardless of what the companies out there want to donate a sample pack of food or whatever. God. I don't even know, man. Sometimes I feel like I don't even know why I even answer emails. You know what I mean? Sometimes because of stuff like that. I'm just like, oh, well, here's an email from Hikari. Oh, I am worse now for having read that email. It is good food, though. So, whatever. I'm not talking bad about the food or the company. I just feel like I don't think there's anybody out there like really, really supporting, you know, YouTubers or content or people that can actually be testing stuff. I mean, Corey does, but he already supports me so much. It's like, why can't another company like step up their game and start to like, I don't know, advertise their stuff? Maybe. I don't know. Seems like a deal. But let me move my head over here while we go to what I was trying to talk about, and that was oops, that's the wrong thing. Now, how is this way off? Oh, I have to move the chat over. There we go. I can put the chat right there. Okay. Oh, but if I put the chat there, it disappears. It disappears. Let me move this right here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now I have to move the chat right here. Then I have to move myself right over there. Yes, I did it, guys. But yeah, I just I don't know. I don't get sidebarred there about emails, so sorry about that. Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, this show is brought to you by the patronizers. Feel free to go over to Patreon if you like, help support the channel, or hit the join button if that's something you want to do. And if you don't, cool, I get it. Do what you got to do. Let's see. Ginger Graves says, safe travel, Candy. Love and well wishes to y'all. Largemouth Bass says, last name Bass is just like the fish. Yeah, but you could say base. You know, you could say base, but I'll say bass from here on out. Anyhow, Thor Wright wrote in, as you guys can see, this is from the Patreon page. It's Friday show, so we got to answer these questions from the Friday show, or on the Friday show. Wait, is today the Friday show? I was explaining earlier, I am not feeling great today. I am way under the weather. I don't know if anybody could tell. I don't know if you guys could tell. I went to the dentist today, and they, like, drilled into my tooth, and dentist, I don't know. I got a new dentist, and he just seems hyperactive. Like, he's just, I don't know, he's going to save me from the teeth monsters or something. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. Seems like a military guy. He's very gung-ho. Very gung-ho to attack potential teeth problems. So such is life. Thor Wright wrote in, I'm torn on trying Stratum versus Eco-Complete. I have 3 tanks that are Eco-Complete, and I know your opinion on Stratum. So what is your opinion on Eco-Complete? I'm also curious what was the bacteria I killed with API erythromycin. Thank you for the videos one more time. I will answer this erythromycin part because I can say I don't know what bacteria you killed. I don't know. Typically, erythromycin is like sort of broad spectrum type bacterial, so I don't know. I don't know what you killed. That part, I don't have an answer for. Unless we really did a culture in a lab, we really wouldn't know anyhow. We'd just be speculating and be like, yeah, I know stuff from that I don't know. So I'd rather not say things that I don't know. But Stratum versus Eco-Complete. Woo! I'm sure a lot of you are fairly aware that Eco-Complete is a natural product that is essentially, it's just like a nice high-grade lava stone that is processed down. It's basically like if you got some really nice lava rock, which you probably wouldn't find this at your hardware center or anything like that. You'd probably have to get it kind of specific. But if you got some really, really, really nice lava rock, crushed it down real fine, and then rinsed it off real good, you'd probably end up with something that looks and is just about what Eco-Complete is. My opinion on Eco-Complete is that it works fine as a substrate. I think it is great. I think it's a pretty darn good substrate. One of my big issues with Eco-Complete, it has a real tendency to compact and end up with a lot of fines into it, which isn't that big of a deal if you can get something that can stir up the substrate. So if you're somebody, man, my eyes are just killing me right now. Everything's in bloom, and I'm not even allergic to stuff, and it's bothering me. I think I'm dying. You guys. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I'm being sarcastic. I'm not dying. I just feel like I'm dying. But the Eco-Complete, does it work well as a substrate? Yes, it definitely does work well as a planted substrate. I personally had issues with running it really long term. If I wasn't doing at least a little bit of gravel vac or having something kind of aggressive like Malaysian trumpet snails that do get down there and kind of stir it up, or some cory cats or something like that getting down there to kind of stir it up a little bit. You know, you could definitely make use of it. I think the biggest problem with Eco-Complete is the volume comparison for the price. That you, like, if, and most people, I think, get into the Eco-Complete because they think they're saving. You know, I think that they think that they're saving money versus one of the aqua soils. Like maybe you don't like Stratum. Maybe you'd like Brightwell. Maybe you'd like Brightwell's. And Brightwell is available in the U.S. I wish they would send me some bags of Brightwell. You know what I mean? I do have one bag of Brightwell. I would like some more, but I'd like to be able to test some more of that Brightwell stuff. That could definitely be an option. Like if you don't, like maybe you don't like Fluval for some reason, or maybe you had a bad experience with Stratum, you might be able to try like a Brightwell. Maybe you could find some ADA. You know, the Type 2 ADA seems to be the only one that's going to be left moving forward. I bought the only bag from Aqua Serene that they had of the Aqua Design Humano, the ADA brand, and they did put out a press release that they're not going to be able to be making the original Amazonia substrate anymore. But you know, I think Eco-Complete is very viable if that's kind of your personal preference, and it really also, a lot of the stuff definitely depends on your water column too. It's like your water is going to react differently to different substrates. So, you know, there is a possibility that you have like, you know, some fairly specific water that is reacting quite well with EcoComplete and might not react very well with Flue Ball Stratum. So, Jay in Aquarium's asking about what about Amazonia from ADA. That's what I was just talking about. So, yeah, I think ADA is a good brand. I have, like I said, I have one bag here. I ordered some more Flue Ball Stratum. Some of it came today, as mentioned in the title here. The 240-gallon aquarium is getting an overhaul. I'm overhauling that thing. I got tired of the scape in it and stuff, and you know, I tried a project out. The project didn't work, so I'm just gonna kind of kick that thing back up into high gear and go in a direction that I'm going. So, Candy Overhaul says, hint, hint, Brightwell. What's up? Where you at? Where you at, Brightwell? They're not watching the show. There's only 105 people watching today, so, you know, pretty chill. Pretty chill out here on a Friday. Oh, here we go. Preston John sent in. If you guys don't know, Preston John's one of our producer status guys. Big shout out to Preston, man. I hope we get to hang out real soon. I hope I get to make it down to Arizona and shoot some video in his fish room and stuff. He posted on here, he has a new iPhone ringtone or alarm, which is it's me doing the beginning of one of the shows. Singing like an idiot at the beginning of the show. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Maybe you guys want to use that as your ringtone. I don't know, but Preston put it up on there so you guys would be able to. Jessica Thiegartner sends this in. We got her son's crown tail. One of two betas in his room. Excuse the pics if they're sideways, as the tank is dirty. Hey, don't worry about it. A little bit of a dirty tank is not. It's not a bad thing as far as I'm concerned, especially in a beta tank. It does it's sort of just kind of a little bit of algae on the glass, or less. And I say air quote windows for the betas to be seeing themselves in and stuff like that, I think is kind of a good deal. I used to keep a lot of my betas in just 5-gallon buckets and stuff with the air stone in them, because it would just chill them out. Like they'd just chill more, you know. Mine are all feisty and, you know, freaking out sometimes and getting ready to breed, you know, and doing all that kind of stuff. But I think it would kind of condition them a little bit better for the breeding situation that I had, to keep some of them in buckets and stuff. And sometimes, you know, that little extra algae on the side of the glass is kind of helpful for betas, because they're not flaring constantly at their own reflection. You know what I mean? Let's see. Jessica Thiegartner sends this in too. Oh, it's a black with the yellow fins. As you guys know, black and yellow is kind of my favorite theme. So mad props to this fish. I think I would be breeding this 100%. Just a beauty. That's a beauty. That's a beauty out there. That's a beauty out there. I'd breed this fish because I'd want to get more of them. You know what I'm talking about. More. Ginger Graves sends this in. So catfish, that's Beatrice. She discovered the Flue Ball 3.0 light was warm and decided the top of my 20-gallon long was a great napping location. Look at this. Somebody figured out that the 3.0 is super warm. This silly cat. These cats out there, they can't hardly be trusted. But I will tell you that, you know, the cats always be doing something silly. Big Bill with a $2 super chat says, what's up from the car in Friday rush hour traffic? Ooh, stuck in the old traffics. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous of that situation you got going on. Ginger Graves sends this in. I finally got the 120 gallons set up and cycled. It needs more plants, but the Oscars don't care. They're happy with the upgrade from the 75. However, more plants will be added. I was wondering how many Oscars you have in here, because it looks like you only have 2, which means I would personally say you could definitely, if it's 2, you could probably just go long term with this setup. So I feel like that's a double high five. Like, not only did you get the new tank setup, but hopefully, if there's only 2 in there, this could be like the forever home situation, which I feel like is a monumental like moment when you get a big fish that you know is going to get pretty big and it's probably going to outgrow your tank. When you actually follow through on it and get the new tank, that's what I'm talking about. I'm always excited about that. Fishing Key Largus is my beta passed. I can't remember how long I had him. He loved his planet tank. Looking for another one. It will have to be the right one. I'll know when I see it. That's a good point. That is a good point. That's kind of the thing with betas. Like, you kind of just know it. You know, you kind of just know it when you see it. You're like, oh, that's my buddy, and I'm gonna hang out with this fish and do fishy stuff. Let's see here. James R sends in, finally got the water clear. Camera phone doesn't do it justice. I like this. This is going to be a decent layout, especially as these plants fill in. It's got a lot of plants in here that are going to fill in, so get some bush out, get some propagation going, and let these things grow. This is going to be cool. I can already tell. The layout here. This is going to be pretty cool once it's grown in, and it's going to have some pretty good variation of color and whatnot. So I'm excited to see that grown in. James also sent in a picture here of the DIY 20-gallon sump. I like this. It's got a little wet dry action made out of some old plastic drawers, or maybe they're brand new. I don't know. But a 20-gallon long is a great spot to start out. It definitely, if you're thinking about doing a sump or something like that, a 20-gallon just kind of, they're cheap. They're 20 gallons compared to most filters. You know, if you have like a canister filter or something like that, it's like, it's going to be a big upgrade from pretty much any canister filter. So, you know, just the amount of oxygenation that goes in. And I see, it looks like there's a little beta in his sump. I think this is a beta right here. I don't know. I might be wrong. Could just be a shadow. But the 20-gallon long is a great spot to jump off from. A lot more space for beneficial bacteria, a lot more space for extra water volume and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend people to jump into a 20 long like this. And there's, you know, there are a lot of elements that it looks like from the picture, but I think once you started building the parts and stuff like that, you'd be like, oh, this is pretty easy. And it's a pretty easy step to go from, you know, like a 1-gallon canister filter to an extra 12 gallons that, you know, operational water in there, plus some extra oxygenation, more bacteria that are going to be breaking ammonias and nitrites down, which is like the whole, that's, our systems are super reliant on that. So, yeah. And you could add some certain things that are going to help buffer the water a little bit, like clay pots and stuff. Always good. Let's see, who sent this in? Brendan Wagner. Sorry, I apologize for saying Brandon. Your name's Brendan. Sends in this picture, starting a new 10-gallon shrimp tank. Any ideas for decor hardscapes plants? Red cherry shrimp for now. Literally open to any suggestions before I add cycled water. Honestly, it looks like you got the hardscape here. I would probably move the cholla wood around if this was my tank. But I do like where you got the big pieces of wood. I think a front to back, we're looking down at like long ways. So it's sitting on the stand like this. I think you're definitely on the right track. And then, you know, plants is just going to kind of be up to you. Like, just pick your preference. But you look like you have fairly inert substrate here. This looks like the tumbled, just some tumbled rock that you would normally see in the non-planted area. So I would consider staying with stems. A lot of stem plants would be fine in there. And then just for elevation and stuff, I would do like, I'd probably just do some Anubias Nana Petite, stuff like that, which is so like cost effective now. That used to be so expensive. The Nana Petite used to be so expensive, and now it's just really not. Jessica Thiegartner says, my son and I have baby shrimp. He's so happy. That's a mom for the win. Where's the baby shrimp? Oh, right here. I see a little baby cherry shrimp right there. That's almost an adolescent, I think. You're getting to like a preteen, more than like a baby or anything like that. Oh, hold on. Whoa. Had that uncontrollable yawn. There was like no fighting that back. It was like gonna happen. But one thing I do notice here from this picture is that you are building up some algae on the leaves, which that dusting of algae that's on there is only going to get worse. So I would, if you already moved this plant over here, holy man, what is happening? I keep having yawns. That was weird. I would, personally, I would move this Anubias out of the direct light, or maybe even just turn the lighting down on this tank with this little dusting of algae. And then this little spot right here, this brown spot on the stem, and then right down here at the base of the rhizome, is making me a little bit nervous that you might have some Anubias rot going on. If that appears to be the case, like this is all mushy and stuff, get those areas cut off. That's going to be the best thing that you could do. Candy Overhaul says she posted the link. God, I keep yawning. She posted the link from Aquarium Co-op. You can find all these, you can find most of these plants there. If you're in the U.S., their shipping is on time. It's dope. Their plants are good. I can verify. Yesterday, I was up replumbing a bunch of stuff at the Aquarium Co-op. I can say the plants in those systems are healthy and doing well because I literally did all the testing. The testing all day yesterday, and I keep yawning, you guys. I'm just going to take a nap online. Did I fall asleep? I don't know. What happened? I'm super tired. And like I said, I'm not feeling good either, so that's probably what it is. Okay, Christopher Tam, who's brand new to the Patreon, thank you very much, says, "Hey Joel, I just wanted to get your opinion on UV sterilizers in the aquarium. I am considering preparing a tank to hatch some rainbow fish eggs I expect to get next month. I was thinking of using an egg tumbler in addition to a UV sterilizer in a 10-gallon tank with sponge filtration to reduce the number of eggs getting fungused at the first batch. Had 63 to 65 eggs failed this way. Even with 4 times a day water changes of 50 to 80% in those small breeder boxes with fresh dechlorinated same temperature tap water. Also, do you think it will prevent delay fungus from growing on fish food in the aquarium as well? I currently can't feed my zebra ottos blanched vegetables as they will fungus in 12 hours. Yeah, so you do have a little bit of an imbalance going on here, I would say, personally, in your tank. I feel like UV sterilizers, this is like one of the only applications I would say is a useful application for a UV sterilizer is breeding setups. Like, I think it's really useful in breeding setups to help, like you said, keep the fungus down and stuff like that, especially stuff that's, moving around in the water column. It's definitely moving around in the water column and stuff. That will definitely help. The UV sterilizer will do that. I don't think that a UV sterilizer is useful at all on an established tank. Unless you have some kind of established tank that's like a big fish, tank, right? It's all about grammar in that sentence that I'm saying there. Like, if you had a tank that's housing big fish, that's a perfect example of that you might be able to need a UV sterilizer. But I feel like a lot of people use UV sterilizers as just a plain and simple Band-Aid to avoid, kind of balancing out their system, whether they have to do water changes and stuff like that. And I don't think that that's something I would recommend. But in a breeding situation to keep fungus off of eggs and stuff, I think that's definitely a great route to go. Is to utilize a UV sterilizer, and especially an egg tumbler. Egg tumbler is going to be big time helpful. Something that keep those eggs from just clumping down into a pile is always a good idea. They're looking for a plant species that would be with Corridorus in the lakes and streams, but I can't find info online. Setting up a Peru-themed lake tank. Oh, and Bentley says, do not use an egg tumbler with rainbow fish. I can't stress this enough. Fresh hatched fish will die. Use a single drop of methylene blue into a specimen container-sized amount of water as they hatch. As the rainbows hatch, remove them from the methylene blue and into a cycled tank with minimal water flow. Okay. Okay. There you go. I've used UV. As I've said when Bentley was on the show, I've never bred rainbow fish. I haven't kept them very much, but I find it's one of the uses of UV sterilizers and egg tumblers is not for rainbow fish, but to hatch fish eggs and stuff and keep fungus off of them. Nowadays, I think in my personal setup, if I was doing that, I would count on shrimps to do a lot of the cleaning. But I think it's one of the few times that you can actually use a UV sterilizer. So, you know. Shady or Shaquan Hardy says, any help on low-tech 150-gallon lighting? Everything is so expensive for this size. I have the Fluval 3.0 on my 150. It's about as cheap as you're going to get for a good light. And I don't know. I talk trash about stuff that's like super expensive. And I know a lot of people think that the Fluval 3.0 is super expensive. Like it's a super expensive light. This is what they think. And yet no one can bring me a product that's equitable to it, right? So it's like as good. Find me something that's as good, because there's a lot of people out there that tell me the ADA lights are better, right? And I literally went to look up the RGB ADA lights, and on my 240, it would take 3 of them to put on there, which would cost $2,600 plus tax. So they are $799, right? So $2,400 plus tax. So I think after tax it's like $2,700. So it's like what I said, but not the plus tax part. With tax, that's what they'd cost, and the import cost, because you have to order them from Alibaba, so the shipping is pretty expensive. So with the 150, I have one 48-inch over my 150 of the Fluval 3.0. Just a little while ago, I bought another one. So I put another one on there just so I could turn down the one that I have on there and like scoot it forward and just kind of disperse the light a little bit better because of the style that I was going. But I wasn't having any problems growing plants with just one 48-inch 3.0 over the 60-gallon or the 60-inch long 150-gallon tank I have. It worked fine. And then, as far as the 3.0 goes, like I understand it's not free. It costs a little bit of money, but I look at it this way, work an extra shift, maybe work a couple hours of overtime. I don't know, skip Starbucks for a little while or so, you know what I mean? Like pack a lunch for a little while. It just, you know what I mean? Like even if you're somebody making, let's see, in Washington, minimum wage is like $12.50 an hour. So let's say you make $12.50 an hour. You work 8 hours a day. So it's $80 plus 10/10, so it's $100 a day. If you're making $100 a day and you work 2 hours of overtime, right? So that would put you up to like 140 or whatever, something like that. If you worked a couple of hours of overtime and stuff like that, like you'd have that saved up in no time. And I can tell you guys from personal experience, buying super cheap lights adds up. Alyssa and I were talking about this after the show on Wednesday, is that a lot of the lights I used to use were from hydroponic setups and stuff like that, like for like T5s. And, when I used to have to go buy, well, not to mention the light fixture itself isn't waterproof. It takes T5 bulbs, which don't last forever. They only last about 6 months realistically, and you got to replace them. And you got to replace them, which you have to buy. You have to buy them. But whenever I went to go get new light bulbs for my Planet Aquariums, like you're talking like $150. in light bulbs to come back and replace the light bulbs that I already had. You know, and I haven't had to replace a Fluval 3.0 yet. I do know that they sometimes get broken, but I literally had one that was broken and I fixed it. You know, not to mention it could just warranty it, but whatever. They are waterproof. They have a timer built into them. You can change the spectrum. Like, there's just way too many things going on that, with how well they work, you know what I'm saying, for their cost. No one else has brought anything to me that's like, check this out, it's as good and it's cheaper. Like, yeah, there are cheaper lights. Like, there's the Phoenix lights. They work pretty good. Like the Stingrays and stuff like that. Like, the Phoenix lights work fairly well, you know, but they're not waterproof. They don't have a timer. You can't change the spectrum on them. Like, there's a bunch of things that are the reason why they're cheaper. And no one has been able to bring me something that's the same. You know what I mean? That's like, here's as good and it's cheaper. Some people have brought stuff that's air quote better, like the ADA lights, right? But I'm going to have to take out a second mortgage if I wanted to use some of those ADA lights. They're $800 for what is, so let's see, a third of the 240. So basically, a 60-gallon aquarium, if you want to do the ADA lights on it, is $800 plus tax, right? So like $900 American, 900 American dollars. I live in one of the most expensive parts of the country, let alone the world. Like, I live in Western Washington, which we moved away from Seattle to be able to even afford to buy a house. We live 35 miles away from Seattle now, and it's still expensive where I live. That's more than my half of the mortgage. You know what I'm saying? like $900 is less than our total mortgage, but Vicky and I split it, obviously. Well, maybe it's not obvious to you, but we split it down the middle. But $900 is more than my half. You know, that's a month's worth of being able to, you know, live inside. You know what I mean? So you know, the Kessel lights, it's almost the same situation because, you know, each one of them is like $400 instead of $185.99 for the big 48-inch version. I don't know. No one has found anything that's better or cheaper. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just the thing. Like, the Kessel lights may technically be better. And I talked to the guy who runs Kessel lights. I've talked to him on multiple occasions. You know, he on multiple times he said, "Yeah, I'll send out a light so that you could test it out." But by that same extension, like, he wanted me to pay for it. You know what I mean? Like, he wanted me to pay the wholesale price on it. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, this is kind of what you deal with when you're trying to get sponsorships in the fish community. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we'll send you a sample of free stuff and you can try it out. And it's like, so I'm supposed to be the writer, director, videographer, editor, talent, promoter who already has an audience. I'm supposed to do all that stuff for $3 worth of fish food. It's not even like the full thing, right? It's not even like the full container of fish food. I'm supposed to do that for $3 worth of fish food. I don't know. It's kind of absurd. And it's the same kind of deal, like dealing with the Kessel guys. Like, I would love to test out those lights. I've used them on reefs and stuff, and I think they're great. But by that same extension, the Kessel light is not waterproof. It doesn't have an app that you can control it with. It has knobs on it that you can control. And you still need to get a timer for it. And you don't even get the hanging apparatus that comes with it, right? You don't even get the hanging apparatus. You have to order the gooseneck hanging arm thing separately, which costs, what, $45 or something like that to hang the puck. That's, I don't know. There's just, I don't think there's anybody in the chat that can bring me the same quality thing for cheaper, you know? Randy Hightower says the NICRU seems to be doing pretty well with low light plants in the 40-gallon. Yeah, I'm reticent to use a NICRU light because I don't think it's NL rated. So I don't think it's been tested. Oh, no, let me see. I want to look this up. I don't want to be wrong. Let me see. What did I just do? I pushed the wrong button. Let's see. I had to take the thing off here. NICRU LED NL rated. Let's see. NICRU LED is an excellent strip light. Amazon. Here we go. Let's go to Amazon and let's see if it's NL rated or not. I'm not seeing it. Let's see. Classic LED, lumens, materials. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let me see. All right. I don't know. I haven't looked this up, but the last time I checked, this was not NL rated, so it has. I don't think it's been tested. Where's the product information that actually? Oops. Where's the product info? Let's see. And if you guys are wondering what I'm talking about here, I'll get a link right here. Paste. Yeah, and not to mention, like, Candy Overhaul has just pointed the Fluval 3.0 in the chat right there. If you want to click on that link, it'll take you to Corey, which is the cheapest spot you can get the Fluval 3.0. And like I said, I recommend you guys to use them if you want. If you don't, you don't have to. But I get this question a lot on like what to do about lights and stuff like that. I have a ton of YouTube videos, or I have a ton of videos posted to YouTube that yeah, this isn't NL rated. It's CE rated, which is not the same thing. It's got that CE emblem on it, which is the only reason to put that emblem on there is that it's not NL rated, which means they haven't tested independently 50,000 units to see if they're going to burn your house down or not. So that's kind of a problem. That's kind of a problem in my book, and I certainly don't think that's as good as a 3.0. And I don't think I would want I don't think I'd want my fish room to like burn down because I bought some cheap lights and then find out later on that our homeowner's insurance wouldn't cover it because I bought cheap lights. So that's just a personal thing. But that's up to you. That's totally up to you guys, whether you do or not. I wear my seatbelt when I'm driving too, just 'cause I'm afraid if I get in a crash, I'm going to end up dead, and that will suck. It's Nature Man says, don't hate on me, but my experience with Beamswork full spec DA 120 has been great. $60 for a 48-inch light. 1 year later, it's still rocking. Okay, that's good. That's good to hear that a Beamswork's coming good. That a Beamswork is coming good. I've tested Beamsworks in the past, and I had personal bad experiences. So was I saying NL rated? Yeah, UL rated. Sorry, doing a live show here, and I am not feeling great today. But yeah, UL rated. Why was I saying NL? Yeah, sorry, UL rated. Yes, apologies, I screwed that up. Yes, I meant UL rated. The Underwriter Laboratory is correct. Yeah, the underwriters tests are, Dr. Gubby says, underwriters tests are generally 3,000 to 10,000 plus. They're pretty expensive for lights to get the UL rating. I believe the last time we looked into getting a UL rating on something I was involved in that has nothing to do with fish tanks and stuff. You have to test 50,000 units and have a certain percentage before they will give it a pass. And the percentage is high. Like, it's got to be like, I forget what it is, but it's over 99% or something like that. Like they can't just fail and be dangerous and stuff like that to get a UL rating to get it to pass. Cheshire Cat says, "Oh yikes! I could burn down my whole apartment building." Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you're going to, but you could, and there's definitely a lot less to fall back on if you don't have that UL rating on the stuff that you were running and it did catch on fire, for instance. You know, if that did happen. And here's the thing, like, people's houses burn down. Even with fish tanks in them. One of Corey's employees that works in the retail store, their house burned down all the way down to the foundation right before Christmas this last year. With fish tanks in it and everything, which is awful. It's terrible. All of the people and like mammals and everybody made it out, but the fish didn't, you know, and the fish tanks didn't survive either. So I'm probably going to be helping out building a stand for them when I build Bentley's stand, which will be fairly soon. That'll be coming up fairly soon. I hope to make a good video out of it, but I'm finding the struggle is real trying to make YouTube videos of stuff that I'm doing at this point. I feel like I'm stretched really thin. Ollie H sent this in on the 20th, just a couple days ago, asking, fat, eggs, or sickness? Been like this for a week or so, eating and swimming well. All the others are happy, healthy, and recently started vibrating on each other. There's your clue right there. Vibrating on each other is generally mating behavior. So I would guess, personally, I'm just making a guess from a picture here, plus the fact that you mentioned that they're vibrating on each other, that's pretty much mating behavior, I would say, at this point. So hopefully you'll get some Starabies coming in here fairly soon, some new ones, tank raised, should be cool. Dominic Nadeau sent this in today, and I always say your last name wrong, and you've added in how to pronounce it, and I'll probably keep saying it wrong, just like I say Bentley Pascal's name wrong. Excuse me. Oh, we got concrete proposals coming in hot. Whoa! What is this? Okay, hold on. This other mouse is being wild over here. I got notifications coming in. Notifications coming in for... Oh, sorry guys, everybody that's posting on the Patreon right now. I mean, unless you're becoming a new patronizer, I have to review it before I post it up on the internet in case somebody posts something crass or has a cool cat towel down here on the ground. Check out that. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but the kitty cat towel down here on the ground, because it looks like there's two of them, which I'm pretty excited for. Dominique also has something posted here that I'm pretty excited for. It's like, let the plumbing fun begin. Dry fits. Dry fit is today, probably tomorrow. Also, productive week off. Yes, this is kind of the best way to spend your week off. What is my phone ringing? What is this? Oh, let's see what this is. Hello?
Your current credit card account. We have made several attempts to reach you. This is your final courtesy call before we are unable to lower your credit card interest rate.
Oh no, my credit card interest rate. Oh, I got it. I'm eligible for my credit rates to come down. Do you want my social security number? Jesus. I don't know who falls for those phone calls, but pretty funny. It'll be like somebody call up, oh, this is your last chance to lower your credit score rate for your credit card. Like, oh, really? Is that how my bank contacts me from random 1-800 numbers? Is that how it goes? I don't know. Candy Overhaul says, Dr. Guppy, Corey is traveling, or I'd have asked him when I saw your email. What happened there? CE is a self-certification from the company. Okay, thanks, Candy. Yeah, the CE, the only reason to put a CE sticker on there is that you don't have the UL rating. It has to have all UL 94 non-combustible electronic materials, a UL certified transformer, etc. Oh, we're getting some good stuff here from Dr. Guppy. I like this. Ton of research and checking needs to happen to get certified. Yeah, I mean, everything has to be manufactured from a legit place, blah, blah, blah. It's just a lot of that stuff. Dr. Guppy says, I've been looking for plant species that would be with Corydorus in the lakes and streams, but I can't find this info online. Any ideas? Basically, what I would do, Dr. Guppy, in that situation is I would just go through regional plants that are in Peru. I would just start to go through the Peru plant list and then find out what's available. That's basically what I would do. I mean, a lot of that stuff's online. So you can just go like, aquatic plants that are native to Peru, and you'll get some results. And you can definitely, you can find out what region Peru is from too. And back, you can look up plants that way. Once you find the region, then you can start to look up plants from that direction. Stephen Pope, I follow through with that phone call. When they ask for information, I tell them I can't give it to them because the last time I had a credit card was 1998. The native plants from Peru. Yeah, there's I won't say that I'm 100% certain, but most plants that are classified for aquarium, you can actually look up their origination. That's not right. Where they originated from. There we go. Needed some extra words. And can look them up that way, and then you're going to be pretty close. And that's the same way that I would research any plant, like any specific planet aquarium. And I know this was one of the things I was talking about, or at least trying to talk about in Oregon, is how to research a biotope. That's the difference in a biotope versus like an aquascape. Just your standard aquascape is going to be kind of water parameter bound. You know what I mean? So you could go worldwide in the plants as long as the water parameters are all going to be kind of close on everything. But if you were looking for a biotope, you definitely want to get the plants from the area. So find the area. So like the rummy nose tetras, right? So obviously, I didn't perfectly replicate their biotope like Heiko Blair did, but that's the way that you'd kind of do it. Is just figure out where that fish is from, and then just look up plants from that area that are available. So there's going to be a giant list. There's going to be a huge list. Like if you looked up United States, you'll get just plants forever, but not all fish are from the entire United States, right? And not all plants are available for, your aquarium. You know what I mean? Like you're not able to just order them all up. So, yeah, I think that's the way that I go about it. Is just I find the region, then I find plants from that region, and then I go from there. Let's see, Dominic. Let's get back to your little plumbing project here. This looks good. I like the look of this. Not only do you have Now, I don't like seeing the ball valves, but I get it. It's super hard to find PVC gate valves, but there is one in there. And it looks like you got the Spears one, which is incredibly expensive. I did find some gate valves just a little while ago that, let me find, what do I do here? I'll go like this. I go exclusive window capture, right? Yeah, click that, and then it turns black for a minute. Then I go over here. Where did they go? Oh, I was going to order a couple things from Amazon. I need an adapter. So we go gate valve. Here we go. What was the brand name on these? King Brothers. these King Brother ones, King Brothers Incorporated, not bad, and half the price is the Spears one. So actually, that's even kind of cheaper because this is a 1-inch one and it's 15 instead of 35 on a 1-day delivery too. That's pretty wild. Amazon's crazy. So there's the list right there. Dr. Guppy said try Grainger.com, but I tried Grainger and they were not helpful. I also tried one of the local irrigation companies to see if they could get some, and they were going to bring in the Spears ones. But I've been testing out these King Brother ones for about 4 months now, and I'm pretty happy with how well they're holding up. And I think, honestly, if they only lasted like 2 years and had some kind of problem, I think I'd be fine with it because I would just order some more. Like I said, it's less than half of the price. So the 1-inch Schedule 80 is only $15.72 with the free shipping. I'm mad at that, considering the 1-inch one's like $35 if you get a Spears one. And that's the only one that Grainger carries are the Spears ones. So, I got to re-engage this. Watch. Doop. That's that technology, you guys. Let's see. Moving on. I can move on because Dominic posted. He's got some more going on there. Oh, what was that? Is that like a little picture-in-picture? Whoa. Lexi V sent in, not the best picture. All I have is my phone, but baby fish, as promised. Nice. I like it. Jealous. I'm jealous. My guppy's still, I don't know. I might have to rehome the female to the old fish farm. Just let her go into retirement and go do something else because relying on her to breed is not the greatest thing. It's not the greatest thing. Randy Hightower says, what is the advantage of gate versus ball valve? Ball valve is really difficult to adjust. Gate valve, really easy to make small adjustments on. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the advantage. But if you go messing around with ball valves and then you go messing around with the gate valve, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. And considering like a ball valve of like a 1-inch ball valve is like $8.99 or something like that at Home Depot. And if you get a 1-inch gate valve, it's like $15.75. So it's like basically twice the price or something like that, but it's not too crazy, but it's not too crazy. Right. So, but just considering how much more usable they are, I think it's just kind of the way to go. I have never been sad about having spent the money. We got a sweet post here from Alyssa Bentley. If you guys were wondering what Alyssa is up to, because she comes on the show sometimes, here are 4 of her current projects. These have all just been rescaped and stuff. Starts to give you an idea of what old Alyssa's up to. And look at this giant snail in here. Definitely pretty cool. I'm kind of laughing at the reflection in this, the bottom picture here, because there's like a bucket and I'm unsure, but it kind of looks like she's wearing a towel in that picture in the reflection. I don't know, but I think it's kind of funny. So if you're a Patreon, you can go over there and check that out and, let her know what you think of her new Aquascapes. She's also got a bunch more tanks than that too. You know what I mean? Not Joe Lange Fish Rich is confused. We are looking at our Patreon posts. I have a Patreon page that the people help fund this show and the other production videos and produce videos and stuff like that. And we answer the questions and check out their posts on Fridays. That's what we do. And that's what's happening right now. Terry's Tropical Tank says, oh man, I lost my arrow. You got the membership badge though. You got Bob Dobbs. That means you've moved into month 2. That's a good thing because you can't wait until you move into month 3. And I would also be remiss to be like, month 3 and 4, I've got some surprises also as far as those badges go. And I am working on making some fancy badges, but for right now, they're, you know, we got Bob Dobbs and arrows. You know, that's pretty much it. James R. sends this in. My first dedicated shrimp tank is ready for stocking, minus the piece of cholla wood that hasn't sunk yet. Look at it floating around up here. Silly cholla wood. I'd tie a rock to it, 100%. 5 gallons, fluval stratum, dragonstone, spiderwood, cholla wood, alder cones, bulbitis deformis, cryptocorini pink panther, flame moss, anubias nana, and bucephalandra, which it's a mystery of which kind of bucephalandra it is, but this is a great start, especially if you got your fish tankery. You know, if you're doing a shrimp tank, that's pretty much how you do it right there. Start out with a small one, just set it up right, start right from the beginning. I gotta figure out why my baby's crying. Olivia, what happened? Oh, I wonder where my little Olivia picture went. I don't know. That's on a different screen. Grassy Peak sent this one in. Grassy Peak checking in with my new favorite fish, the platinum half beak. How do you say that? Dermo Jenny's Pusilla. I think it's Pusia. These guys are awesome, peaceful, good eaters, and tolerant of a wide range of water parameters. I've had mine for 2 days, and now they're eating shaved frozen copepods, shaved frozen mysis shrimp, and golden pearls and flake. I got them from Dan, the friendly fishmonger. Can't say enough good things about Dan or this shipment. That is nice. I'm happy to see that. This is a fish I've never kept before. Pretty cool. It's kind of a weird action shot you got here, but definitely a cool fish. I forget how big they get. I think those get big, if I can recall. Kelly Peterson sent in this, and I'm super jealous, and now I've got new goals after seeing this post. Kelly works at the local library, and I get to enjoy this monster of an acrylic aquarium at the children's department. Now I got new goals. What is this thing? 16 feet? 20 feet? Now I got new goals. I gotta get me one of these, you guys. I gotta get me one of these. I gotta get me one of these tanks right here. This is wild. Look at that. I mean, it has like extra pillars down here, which I think are displays / information things or whatever. But I like to imagine in my head that these are the supports from stopping the whole thing from just falling over and attacking everybody. It's so big and majestic. Wherever Vicky Toria is, we have new goals. Go look at Kelly Peterson's post of this this fish tank right here, because we're gonna need one of those someday. So I'm gonna have to get another change jar and start putting my change in there. Pamela Earlywine, as mentioned earlier, was going to highlight what be going on here. Her new fashion statement. For those late night peoples who follow the Tuesday night live streams, next week's stream is canceled and planned stream with Sharpies is postponed. So you guys know 54 Punchy does some live streams now, which is awesome. I think they're pretty chill and they're pretty fun to like go pop in and say hi and stuff like that. So check out her channel if you get a chance. She had to go to the emergency room yesterday because of extreme pain, and after much poking and prodding and a CAT scan, it seems I have to get my gallbladder removed. Antibiotics and pain pills this weekend, and surgery for the first of next week, unless it gets too painful again, and then you have to go in and get it out immediately. I really hope you don't have to go in and get the emergency surgery, because those guys are not ready. Let's be honest. If you schedule an appointment to get your transmission swapped in your car, right? And they're like, oh yeah, we order in the transmission, we get all the parts ready, and you come in next week, and everything's ready to go. Same kind of deal with the gallbladder nonsense. Like, you'd want to be ready for them to take that thing out. So hopefully you don't have to go in for the emergency thing. We talked about that earlier in the show, so let's not dwell on it too hard. But just to let you guys know, 54 Punchy, our thoughts, I don't know, our thoughts are with you, and we hope that you make it through, because you're a valuable member of our community, and we would like you to keep ever forward, moving forward, right? And doing well, and kicking ass. And I don't know about taking names, but you know what I mean. Kicking ass. Dominic Nadeau says, end of the week update. I plumbed all the return to the sump. I just need to do the plumbing back to the tank. And now It says, I am now a pro with the sealing tape for thread, and I've learned that next time I won't use some circular hole saws, or some circular holes, but will cut a bigger hole with a jigsaw. Quick question for Joel. If I do a Surges reactor with a water purifier canister like you did on YouTube, can I put it upside down for better stability of the container? Yeah, I think you just have to reroute the plumbing from backwards to forwards again. You know, so just reroute the plumbing, and yeah, Surges reactor will work upside down. You just go the other direction with the water. Yeah. Yeah. And then here's more of the update of the plumbing. It says, and that's the way it looks inside the stand for now. Oh, this must be what we were talking about with the holes instead. Just doing a cutout with a jigsaw. I can see this is kind of a traffic jam of holes, but the holes are a better idea. You know, if you drill out, if you cut out the circular holes, it's much more stable than just a wonky cutout. So as much of a pain as it is to cut the circular holes in the exact spot, I'll go ahead with doing that. Because it's more control, it's more structurally sound. Johan asks with the fish of the week. The striped panchax. The lineatus golds. And I can never say the first word here. The Plachialius, I don't know. I could never say that, and I've never heard really anybody say it. But the lineatus gold. These are a fish that I have kept and bred and had a great time with. And if you are getting into killifish, this is the fish I recommend for you. If you're going to get started into killifish, this is the killifish to get started with. 100%. They are pretty easy maintenance. They don't need crazy temperature. They don't need crazy plants. They don't need... Put a lid on it, but they don't necessarily need the lid. You know. They don't necessarily need a lid, but I would recommend just because they can definitely jump out. They want to go puddle to puddle just like most killifish. Anyhow, let's read the quote here. The golden sport of Plachialius, I could never say it. Lineatus is very popular in the aquarium hobby and the only member of the genus that can be found on a regular basis in the pet shops. The reason for that is quite simple. The golden sport exhibits, even as a small juvenile, already the attractive coloration. It has this cool yellow coloration and whatnot. So I'm used to seeing it as the Panchax lineatus is one of the few species of killifish that are well suited for a community tank. They can be properly fed with dried food and invigorate the upper part of the water column. The aquarist experience level, beginner, size of the fish, about 4 inches or 10 centimeters, minimum tank size 20 gallons. Yeah, I would go 40 breeders on these or 20 longs just so you have a little more space. Standard 20 is kind of weird. Temperament, semi-aggressive. And like I said about the temperatures, 72, 77 is pretty reasonable, that's for sure. It's not too hot, not too cold, nothing weird. It's pretty much just room temperature plus just a little bit of heat, so not a big deal. And Alyssa says she likes how subtle the color is, and I was just down there reading that, so I read it out loud to you guys. But yes, I definitely, that's the fish I recommend to anybody who's just getting started out in killifish and whatnot, because this is the best fish. You start breeding them, start doing all that, and in my opinion, it works out quite well, honestly. And as I mentioned, this is the Patreon page, so spin over there, give it a shot if it's something that you want to get into. You know, I recommend it. I definitely recommend it, and I appreciate you guys. Hopefully I answered your questions. Hopefully I got some things right. Maybe I entertained some people. Maybe I got a chuckle out of somebody. I don't know. You guys let me know. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Go crazy and do all of the... and do all that good stuff. Sunshine Aquatics, has she hit Patreon status on YouTube yet? I don't know. Oh, 54 Punchy? You just have to start a Patreon. It's your own thing if you can start a Patreon page if you like. The join button thing is... you have to have a certain amount of subscribers, and I technically am below it, but we petitioned YouTube to turn that on, and they basically turned it on for my channel. It's a case-by-case thing. You know, they know that I've been on YouTube for a really long time. I don't have any community strikes or any of that kind of stuff, so they allowed it to go through. And luckily, you know, 60 of you came in and decided to become members, and for whatever reason, that may or may not have passed the threshold of them like not turning it off. I'll be honest with you guys, I was super enthusiastic when we started out to go like, yeah, we should get to like 10% or something like that of the channel to become members. And honestly, it's 64. I'm super enthusiastic about 64. If we get to 10%, it's like 2,300 people. So that feels weird at this point. I feel like I'm super grateful for 64 people wanting to be a member of the Oceaneers and stuff. I feel like I'm at the point right now where I'm like Field of Dreams. You know, if you guys have ever seen the Field of Dreams movies, the Field of Dreams movie, it's like the if you build it, they will come kind of thing. So we're definitely going to be hopefully building something that you all could come to someday. That really is my goal at this point. Not only do I want to make not only do I want to make better content for you all and stuff like that. I also want to be able to make content with you guys if you guys came somewhere. You know what I mean? Like if you guys came out to the studio, I'd like to be able to like shoot a video with you or interview you or interview you interviewing me or film you asking me questions. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, so I don't know. But I hope you guys are all having a fantastic Friday. I got to take a nap or something. I don't know. I have to go. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got to go take care of Olivia. The sitter's got to go. And, Vicky's not here yet, so I'm going to go take care of my baby. And I have to go feed the chickens, so I'm going to try to figure out how to do that at the same time. It's probably baby Bjorn time. And I love you guys, and I just want to say an extra thank you for all of the love and support that you guys, that you all put out there. And it does not fall on deaf ears. I try to answer everybody's questions and comments and stuff. I try my best. I don't know. I'm running out of time. I try my best to do it. But thank you for all of the super chats today. Rumbust, Jessica Thiegartner, Dr. Guppy, Largemouth Bass, Big Bill, and the Fish Tank Barn. And a special thank you to Dr. Guppy and Dakota Davies, the new members today. Thank you very much, guys. Like I said, I appreciate it. And I will talk to you all on Monday. Or I've got some new video coming out hopefully this weekend. So hopefully I got a couple of plant species videos coming out for you this weekend. I'm 80% edited on them. All right, talk to you all later.